All right, y'all, let's get into this Madonna story. Because yesterday, child, I thought hell done froze over. Because apparently now, Madonna, aka the Queen of Pop, I don't give a good goddamn what Lizzo says, and the other Queen of Pop, or I should say the other Queen, Elton John, apparently they kissed and made up. So now, after a bitter, decades-long, and largely one-sided feud, the Queen of Pop announced in a Monday Instagram post that she has finally buried the hatchet with the Rocket Man. And hold on, because let me pull up her actual post that she posted on her Instagram. Child, the face card, check. Lip filler, check. Elton John, I like the glasses. I like the New York jacket, the bomber jacket that she has on too. That's cute. So yeah, it's a bit lengthy. So here's what she said. She said, "We finally buried the hatchet. I went to see at Elton John perform at SNL this weekend. Wow. I remember when I was in high school, I snuck out of the house one night to see Elton perform live in Detroit. It was an unforgettable performance that helped me understand the transformative power of music. Seeing him perform when I was in high school changed the course of my life. I had always felt like an outsider growing up, and watching him on stage helped me to understand that it was okay to be different, to stand out, to take the road less traveled by. In fact, it was essential. Now, over the decades, it hurt me to know that someone I admired so much shared his dislike for me publicly as an artist. I didn't understand it. I was told Elton John was the musical guest on SNL, and I decided to go. I needed to go backstage and confront him. When I met him, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Forgive me," and the wall between us fell down. Forgiveness is a powerful tool. Within minutes, we were hugging. Then he told me he had written a song for me and he wanted to collaborate. It was like everything came full circle. And you could tell everybody, oh, this is the song. Dot, 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 dot. End scene. Well, look, here's the thing. I'm actually glad that they did this because any other time, I'm like, fuck you, da da da. Like, I be just like, when they go low, I go to, I dance around, tap dance, actually, the 8 circles of hell. However, you realize when you get older, the one thing you don't want to do is sit around holding grudges, being mad about people. And I like the fact that, you know what, that's that Leo blood in her. I forget what Elton John sign is, but somebody said, yeah, they both don't like to be shown up in a lot of ways. And I believe it. He's a diva. She's a diva. The fact of the matter is like, yeah, why don't you like me? Like, we've done many of things. We've crossed paths. They performed together in the past. Like this, but he was going off saying all kinds of shady stuff about her. But I'm actually glad that they worked it out. Now, I also wanted to say, by the time Madonna released her breakthrough self-titled album in '83, the British pianist and singer-songwriter had already put out 17 studio albums, played the biggest stadiums in the world, and received 14 Grammy nominations. You hear that, Lizzo? So Janet was not the first, because trust and believe, Elton was a diva too. Now, coming of age in a small Michigan town and then striking out as a solo artist in New York City in the late '70s, Madonna reflected on John's immeasurable impact on her early aspirations. And that's when it goes into the whole thing about her in high school and all other stuff. So I just wanted to point out that, yeah, she, by the time she dropped her album, she put out 17 records. By the time, Janet put out Control, Madonna had her 12. So not 12 albums, but 12 #1 Billboard charting singles. So gotta remind y'all, and facts are facts, not what you get from Pooh Crave, Pop Crave, and all them other sites that sit up here and try to cook the books to make people sound valid in certain things when they don't be 110% factual over there with the stuff they be saying. So now, they said that Madonna and Elton's public relationship goes back to at least 1985 when they were captured having some fun backstage at the Brit Awards, but their seemingly playful bond soured in 2002 when John issued an unprovoked attack on Die Another Day, Madonna's song for the year's James Bond film of the same name. Calling it the worst Bond tune ever, John suggested that instead of Madonna, they should have gone for somebody like Lulu and Shirley Bassey, or maybe I'm in that league. Well, here's the thing. How many damn songs for James Bond has Dame Shirley Bassey done? She's done quite a few. Diamonds Are Forever, Goldfinger. There's probably a couple more in there. Goldfinger. And man with a Midas touch. I love some Dame Shirley Bassey, child. Don't even get me started. But Lulu, I've heard from her. Wasn't she in that movie with what the hell's his name? Sidney Poitier? That's the only place I know Miss Lulu from. I don't really know her music. But I remember Lulu was in I believe in a Sidney Poitier movie. Anyway, so then John went and criticized Madonna's nomination for Best Live Act at the 2004 Q Awards, quipping, "Since when has lip syncing been live? Anyone who lip syncs in public on stage when you pay £75 to see them should be shot." The Tiny Dancer singer went on this way for years, referring to Madonna variously as a fucking fairground stripper and a miserable cow, with the pop star occasionally responding through a publicist or offering a form of forgiveness after John sought an apology. I'm like, God damn. Elton, tell us how you really feel. So yeah, there's a picture there of these two singing together. So apparently they was on good terms at the time. Because, I always got to pull up a receipt when these girls be out there calling people cows and stuff. Now, both Madonna and Elton have appeared on a long-running NBC sketch comedy show numerous times over the course of their storied careers, but never on the same night, and certainly never embracing an oppose of mutual forgiveness. So, yeah, so while there were rumors floating around that Madonna was going to be at the Kylie Minogue concert at Madison Square Garden, because she did two nights. She did one on Friday and one on Saturday. Madonna was over there like, "Oh, I heard Elton was going to be able to, this is way more important. I love you, Kylie. I know this is a great milestone for you to be headlining your own show at MSG." And it was everything. You can see my little video and stuff on that on my YouTube channel and on my other platforms. However, this is a more important situation. I need to go and clear the air with this man and be like, "Okay, Miley was good. Like, I got to confront you on that." And she did, and did. And then now in this situation, he saw her. And now because, he allegedly word on the curb is Elton's not doing well medically. He's losing his eyesight and things of that nature. And he a man of a certain age. So yeah, we're not all going to live forever. This ain't fame, child. So at this point, it's like, I get it. It's like, I see you. We too old for, in the words of the Lethal Weapon, Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, we too old for this shit. So clear it up, let bygones be bygones, and let's move on. But before I get up off here, Elton John did respond when he got 450 likes. I think he commented in the Madonna comment section, which I just closed like a damn fool. Hold on, now let me pull it. I was like, why did I close that? Where is Madonna? Madonna. I was like, I was not trying to close that, and I closed it by accident. I was trying to see if there was people in there. I'm sure there was a lot of people that commented. But anyway, here's what he said. He said, "At Madonna, thank you for coming to see me at SNL, and thank you for forgiving me and my big mouth. I'm not proud of what I said, particularly when I think about all the groundbreaking work you have done as an artist, paving the way for an entire generation of female artists." Wait, you mean that wasn't Janet that did that? It was Madonna? Really? Elton, you might want to check the facts, because according to the people, you know, um, Janet Jackson was out here she was the first. But anyway, Lizzo is not going to live that shit down. I don't give a good goddamn. So he said, yeah, when I think about all the groundbreaking work you've done as an artist, paving the way for an entire generation of female artists to succeed and be true to themselves, you were also one of the very first people to rise up against HIV and AIDS in the 80s. And this is coming from someone who actually has his own organization that he raises funds for every year at the Oscars after party. But that's because I got to give you all the education before we read through this whole article. bringing love and compassion to so many who desperately need it. I'm grateful we can move forward. I'm increasingly distressed by all the divisiveness in our world at the moment. Both you and I have wholeheartedly been accepted and embraced by communities who are under threat around the world. By pulling together, I'm hopeful that we can make great things happen for those who really need support and have a lot of fun doing it. So, shout out to you, Elton. I'm glad that you were the bigger person and you just let it go. But a lot of people, made comments. We got Satam Hamrul, who is Roger from RuPaul's Drag Race, and some heart emojis. There's a lot of heart emojis. Russell Tovey, my other husband, I got a lot. Um, put a bunch of heart emojis. MLVC podcast. If you don't know, hey Stefan. Said healing the world one pop song at a time. Pandora Box was in the comments with a bunch of heart emojis. Um, Official Sholalpa. Oh, I know who he is. He's a director. He does this show on I think it's on YouTube called Strange Love. And I know he's working on another movie too. It's on Prime Video too. If you haven't seen it. It's a gay series with Latino men. So definitely check it out because they show peen up in there and everything. And in booty and there's a lot of fornication. So if y'all haven't seen that show, definitely check it out. But anyway, so yeah, he says, oh, I see Felix, you was up in the comments too, saying she probably had to sneak out a lot because of how strict her dad was. Because somebody wrote, wasn't the snuck out the house story originally about dick? Bitch, not y'all calling out Madonna. Forget her icons mixed up. Because I was thinking that too. When I heard the story, I was like, wait a minute. This one that wasn't Elton John that you said it about, because you said it about David Bowie. Now it's Elton John. So which homosexual or half a homosexual is it? Because according to the word on the curb was, well, Elton John tried to identify as bisexual, but he's a full-on homosexual. And David Bowie is bisexual. So yeah, it was in the comments because now I'm scrolling by and I see it. But it was like Debbie Mazur was in the comments, Brandy Carlisle was in the comments. Thalia was in the comments. So there's a lot of celebrities. Questlove was up in there. So Madonna had all the celebrities up in the comments, leaving their thoughts. And so, speaking of which, I want to hear y'all thoughts. So, what do y'all think of this story in regards of Madonna and Elton John burying the hatchet in regards of everything that went down? So, whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.